Hey, what's up guys? Brad here, and I've officially had the Tesla Model S Plaid now for 2 weeks. And so I thought I'd do a quick overview video and just my thoughts and opinions of the vehicle to this point and what I really think of it. And I don't think this is a vehicle, I mean, I see a lot of YouTubers out there who will borrow the vehicle for like a day or, an hour or a weekend, and then they'll give you their opinion of it. And this just, in my opinion, is not that kind of vehicle to where you can do something like that to it. And really why I say that is because it's so unique. The Tesla Model S Plaid is so unique. When you drive it, there's going to be certain things that you absolutely hate about it. And that happened for me. If anybody had seen the initial reaction video of me picking this up, check it in the top of the screen here. You can watch that. You'll see that I was not entirely thrilled about the steering yoke. So much so that I was actually planning on getting rid of the vehicle. I was so turned off by the steering yoke that I didn't think that I wanted to own it, and I really was planning on just selling it right away. I didn't like it at all. Now I've got a Tesla Performance Model 3 you may have seen on the channel as well, and that is an awesome vehicle. To me, that has always been a vehicle that, I don't know why, I've always kind of considered it my beater car. And I don't know why. That's a very nice car. It's fast, it's fun to drive, and in many respects, it's sportier than the Tesla Model S Plaid. But it just doesn't have the emotional connection that I've got with the Plaid. It just always was a fun car to drive and an easy car to drive. It just wasn't this like awesome thing to where I had any sort of emotional connection to it. This particular car, I do. And I can't really describe it, but when I get in the vehicle, it feels special. It feels like something different. And it's kind of funny to say, I think a large part of that has to do with the steering yoke. When you get in, the car feels different. It doesn't just feel like an everyday driver that you're going to drive around town. It feels like you're doing something special, even if you're not. It feels like it. And so for me, that has been very exciting. I've only owned the car 2 weeks now, and I've put a few hundred miles on it. And I'll say this, I've gotten used to the steering yoke, and it's really not that big a deal to me anymore. It's actually something that I like to have, especially on a car like this. Now, we've got this car. So growing up as a kid, I always really liked sport hatchbacks, specifically the WRX hatchbacks, and I always really wanted one, and I never really got one. But for me, if you've seen the channel or watched it for any specific length of time, you'll know that I am a function over form guy, and I do like to have some sort of practicality in anything that I'm going to buy. And so that's one reason that I really, really like the sport hatchbacks or the fast hatchbacks, is because you've got all this space to carry your stuff, but you've got this fast, sporty, fun car to drive all at the same time. And so for me, this is the ultimate sport hatchback. And I mean, if we walk back here, you will see there is a ton of room for you to actually carry your stuff around. And so let's go back here. We'll open up the trunk, or the hatchback, I should say. And you can see in here, flip this guy open. You can see this is massive in here. This is massive. I mean, you've got a huge space back here to store your stuff. And not only that, you've got this awesome huge pocket back here, a little microfiber, which I do not use on this, and then you've got a little pocket over here as well. So the storage capabilities of the car is really awesome. And you can, the auto tailgate has been really nice as well. But in terms of like a fast hatchback, this thing is just super cool, and it's probably the king of fast hatchbacks. So really been digging that aspect of it. I mean, and at the same time, as a kid, I always really enjoyed a four-door sedan, a big four-door sedan. They always kind of had this mafia boss kind of feel to them. I would argue that this car definitely has that feel to it, big time. And to me, I mean, you've got this car that's massive. It is a massive four-door sedan. It's very wide. It's a very wide vehicle, and it's big. The back seat alone is really big. We'll take a look in just 1 second here. But this is a big 4-door sedan, and it's 5,000 pounds, just under 5,000 pounds is what it weighs. So, I mean, when you talk about a mafia kind of boss car, this definitely has that feel to it. If you look in the back seat, this has got a huge back seat. And again, you've got the pano glass in it, which is just awesome. I love not having a beam in the middle, just straight glass. That's awesome. Ventilated seats. You've got back here, where's the button for it? I don't know where the button is right this second, but you can drop that down. You've got some QI chargers. So yeah, when you talk about stuff that I like, when I was growing up, and it was cool to me, a sport hatchback and just a big 4-door sedan, this has got it all. And I mean, this is a car that it's so practical. That back, I mean, if you drop those back seats, you can really put a lot of stuff back there in that hatch. And so that's very cool to me. And we've got this car that you can drive around like an S-Class Mercedes. It's that comfortable and that tame. While all at the same time, you've got a car that is sickeningly fast. And I mean, literally, it is sickeningly fast. When I say that, I'm serious. I mean, if you take this car out and you launch it 4 or 5 times, you are going to feel ill. And it's just because it has so much torque. It has so much torque that you are actually going to feel sick to your stomach because of the torquiness of this vehicle. Now, you don't have to drive it like that, obviously, and you don't have to put your foot into the floor every time you drive it, but we've got this super tame vehicle to where you can run your errands, you can take your kid to soccer practice, you can go to work, whatever, drive it around like a comfortable S-Class Mercedes. And then at the same time, you can have the complete opposite and just feel completely sick with the intensity of this vehicle, with the torque of this vehicle. And it can be, in my opinion, it can be even more fun to drive and exhilarating to drive than like a 911 turbo that's got a great exhaust on it. Now, the Teslas, as you know, don't have any sort of rumble. They don't have any sort of engine noise or exhaust notes or anything like that. They don't have that. But what it does have is this interesting little electric zzz, like whiz. And when you're accelerating quickly, that whiz ramps up. And it just feels like you're in the future. Not only that, but like when you were a kid, if you had ever seen Fast and Furious and they hit the NOS and the road starts to narrow and it gets blurry on the sides of the road, that is how it looks when you're in this car. It is so fast that the visual that you get and the feel that you get and even that little whizzing noise, it's just so intense that I would argue this is probably one of the more intense and exhilarating and visceral cars that you can actually drive. So this is just a quick little video of my opinion on the Plaid, the first 2 weeks that I've actually owned it. There are some things that are really bugging me on it. Some things that are unexcusable in my opinion. And you may have seen it. Here, let's take a look. If you walk over here, the quality control with the Teslas is really bad. And you can see right here, look at this thing hanging down. That is a clip that is broken. I don't really know what is going on under here, but it's a clip that's broken and it just kind of hangs down. You can push it up there and it'll stay for a minute, but it will inevitably come back down. And so that's broken on the car, which is a bummer. At $140,000, $150,000 car, you would not expect the car to have stuff like that going on. In conjunction with that, you've got this rattling in the dash. And I mean, I don't like rattling in any vehicle, whether it's my Tacoma or anything. But man, on a car that you spent $140,000, $150,000 on, that's irritating. So I've got a service appointment to bring the car in, get the rattling in the dash fixed, get that little clip fixed on the side of it. And you know, the sad thing is, I think I actually made out pretty well, because you see a lot of these 2021 delivered Teslas or any Tesla, and people can have some serious problems. Like you've got a folded in front fender or bumper or whatever. And so you can have some serious problems. For me, this stuff is, you know, pretty minor. Now that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I've got some videos coming up on the Tacoma. I've got some more videos coming up on Tesla stuff, the Plaid specifically. And that was I just wanted to cover the high notes of this car. Man, look at those wheels. What a cool looking set of wheels. That is awesome. Now, if we look inside the vehicle before we end the video here, I got the yoke turned just a little bit for you guys. But you've got the 2 screens, which has been very nice. This awesome big monitor. And of course, all the really cool carbon fiber down the car. So anyway, if you guys like this video, please go ahead and give it a like and give me a sub if you're digging the channel. Other than that, we'll see you in the next one.